Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Tim. My name's Vinyl, your friendly neighborhood vinyl guy. I am back, and as you can hear, I feel like I am ready to go start my career in a Barry White cover band because I'm under the weather. As typical fashion, my kid goes on spring break. First day of spring break, he gets sick. Goes through everybody else. So I've been tested. It's not the Rona, thank goodness. But hopefully I'm at the tail end of this because this sucks. Anyway, you already know why we're here. I'm going to show some records. And if you clicked on this, you already know why. But in case you forgot in the 12 seconds it took me to ramble on, this is some old stuff. This is my RSD Black Friday haul. And then I did a little traveling. Yeah, I did. They left me out of the state. Don't know how that happened, but we'll get to it. Anyway, remember Black Friday? It seemed like it was so long ago. So much has happened since then. No kidding, right? Yeah, Black Friday. I went to where I usually go for Record Store Day releases, Triangle Vinyl out in Claremont, Florida. Justin, the owner, proprietor, music genius that he is, he's just always taking good care of me. I'd love to get out there more often than I do, but it's over an hour drive to him. And there are closer places to me. There is one place that does Record Store Day releases, but I don't like the way they do it, so I'm willing to make the drive to see Justin on at least those times, and I usually try to make it a purpose to do some flipping as well, because these guys, they pay a huge nasty premium. But another rant for another day. So what did I pick up that was RSD Black Friday related, or RSDBF for you cool kids? Of course, there was a Jimmy. I bought a Jimmy. Is anybody really surprised I bought a fucking Jimi Hendrix record? No one's surprised. Clearly the Live in Paris 67. My buddy Paul, my good friend Paul over Rocket P-Dub talked about this one in his collab video about Record Store Day releases, and this was the one he was after, and it's a good one to get. The quality is not up to AAA release status, so it's on their Dagger Records imprint, which represented by the shoe for Dolly Dagger. But nonetheless, the performance is top notch, and I think they did a really good job cleaning it up. This one is on the blue wax, and I believe the European got the red, which if you have one or an extra one, because I'm a fucking Hendrix problem. I also picked up Evanescence. This was their fifth album, fourth album? I can't keep it straight. Wife is a huge Amy Lee and Evanescence fan. So there's not too many things in the collection. Sorry, the shrink is still on. Not too many things in the collection that she will say, "Ooh, play that," as I hit the camera now. But I'm happy to add Evanescence to the collection. Really like it. Beautiful purple wax there. But I'm always happy to add some stuff to the collection that she can listen to as well. And then one that I absolutely geeked out on, had to have, wasn't up for a discussion, and that was Weird Al's single "Beat on the Brat." So this was actually one of those 3-inch deals when I think it was in the June or July drop. They did it as a 12-inch. They did the studio version of "Beat on the Brat" was featured on Dr. Demento, but then he also does "Beat on the Brat" and "I Want to Be Sedated Live." And then, as you can see, the second side is Oscar Popstar. I'm not really familiar with them. I mean, it wasn't bad, but I mean, I bought it clearly for Weird Al. Yeah, Weird Al covering Ramones. I'm gonna pounce all over that mess, and it was a fun listen. I've spun it quite a few times. It's Weird Al. I mean, excuse me. I want anything I can get of his on wax. Some of it's ridiculously priced, but it's fun, you know, it's fun stuff. I kept digging, you know, as I am wont to do in a record store. You know, you can't just buy one thing. So I did some flipping in his new arrival bin, so to speak. He has a new arrival section, and he loaded it up for bear for Record Store Day, so I bought a few things out of there. For unlawful carnal knowledge, or for those of you playing along with the home game, that is the acronym. No, I'm not going to say it. Not going to say it. I'm not going to fucking say it. So this is not an official press. I wish I could afford an official press. Dear God, I cannot afford official press. This is an unofficial on red wax. Decent job, not the best job, but I mean, hot take, big, oh, I'm gonna get lots of unsubscribes now. I'm a Sammy guy, you know, and I love the Sammy era. So I wanted to get that one. Excuse me. And unfortunately, with us losing Eddie, even though they were able to patch some things up, I kind of hope the estate can work out all the particulars and get these reissued. I mean, this one, Balance, they're just screaming for it, and they really need to be done. So, but until then, I've got that. Another in the Run DMC collection, Tougher Than Leather. I mean, how can you go wrong with this one? You've got Run's House, Mary Mary, Beats to the Rhyme, obviously the title cut, the Tougher Than Leather, How You Do It D. I mean, this is just classic Run DMC at that point. On the Profile label, oh, drove the neighbors nuts with that one, because I mean, Whose House is a monster. Picked this one up along with the cold. Picked this one up, excuse me. This is a gold stamp promo. Ooh. Any SCTV fans? Of Crush Groove, the soundtrack. I mean, this was just a great movie. It was great to see the culture represented back in the 80s. Kind of authentic in a way. I mean, in its own little way. But you had Beastie Boys, you had Curtis Blow, you had Run DMC, you had the incomparable Sheila E. even busting some rhymes on this one. This is just a fun soundtrack, and I was glad to pick it up at a great, great price. So there's your record there. And was really super, super happy to grab that one. And then, you know, to me, it's not a trip if I don't buy some jazz. And he had put out some Coltrane, and was very happy to get this. It's a mid-70s, I think, reissue of Africa Brass. I mean, Not much really needs to be said about this one. This is on the Rainbow ABC Impulse label, so it's not an original. Plays fine though. I'm very happy with it. Would I love an acoustic sounds or a first press very clean? Sure, who wouldn't? I mean, but this one obviously fantastic music, fantastic stuff, and was well worth the decent price. I mean, it was a good price, so it was well worth it. So I was glad to pay it and pick it up, spin it a lot, put it in a collection, where it now shall live for all eternity. So I mentioned they let me out of the state. I say like I'm some sort of criminal. I'm just detrimental to my own self. So you might have heard of this band, Genesis, I don't know. And they were playing some dates in the US and saying sayonara and we're done. So they were coming absolutely nowhere near me. But they were playing Philadelphia. Man, if only I knew somebody in that area. I do know somebody in that area. Mr. Bill from Vinylverse. My brother from another. Literally. We haven't done the DNA test yet, but we're fairly positive. We were separated at birth. Hell, we were born on the same day. Anyway, so early in the year we made plans and bought tickets. We were going to go see the show together, and I was going to travel. And then it turned out that you know what? My family just needed a vacation, so we kind of made it an extended one. Spent a couple days in Philly, drove up to New York, saw some sights there, and just had some really good family time. But to kick it off, first day was, y'all do what the hell you want to do. I'm going to see my brother Bill. So right before we left, Amy wasn't feeling well, so she didn't want to come downstairs and meet Bill, which was, I get it, it'll be another time. Trust me, there will be another time. But Bill and I met, and we started to do some digging. Excuse me. So the first place we stopped at was his stomping ground. He's mentioned them a time or three. Siren Records. So if you've never been to Siren Records, what a place. Definitely well curated, excuse me, I can talk as well as inhale. Well curated, well organized, 7 inches, 12 inches, genres aplenty, CDs, you can spend a great day there, and we definitely spent some time in there enjoying it. So they had some leftover RSD stock, and I was mad at myself for not picking this one up on RSD, but they still had some left, or they got in a later box because everybody's having delivery issues, and that was Miles Davis's Live Evil. Should have bought it on RSD, but I didn't buy it on RSD. They still had some left. So I was like, you know what? Of course I should have it. I must have it. Guess what? I have it. Pressing sounds fantastic on this. I was very happy. The very cool looking teal vinyl. Was very, very stoked to grab that one. So that was the end of the RSD stuff. I mean, not really much else was grabbing me. So I was happy with that. Hit the 12-inch section, and they had this one, and I want to say it was $1 or $2. And I was just like, I have to take this home. You can read that. This is Jazz Hawaiian Sophie. So everybody knows I grew up outside of Washington, D.C., and this is a very much a go-go influenced song. But this is also one of the very first appearances of a billionaire rapper whose name is very similar to that. That's Jay-Z. He was the hype man, beatboxer at times, I don't know. He worked with Jazz. And if you want to go see something really, really funny, go find the video for Hawaiian Sophie. I'll try to link it. Seeing Jay-Z parachute in on one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life is totally funny. But it's a great cut. Album's okay, but it's a great cut, and I had to have the single. So, and we just spent the rest of the time flipping and just kind of grabbing a few other things. So I did hit the hip hop section. I was actually shocked that Bill fought me for this one. I mean, and he threw some shots. He really wanted this, and I just said, "Look, dude, this is a big album for me." So, after the kerfuffle was calmed, I'm the one who walked away with it, and that was Busta Rhymes' solo album, The Coming. This was his first one after essentially what led to the demise of Leaders of the New School. This one has that head nod shit that's gonna break your neck. Hoo-ha! Got you all in check. It's just a classic Busta album, reissued from Get On Down. I really wish places would stay away from United. I don't think that one was done at United. It sounded better than that, so I was happy to add that to the collection. Another one, and I didn't even know this got a reissue, and I had been looking for this one for a while, and that is the wonderful pop psych sounds of Gandalf. A little bit of pop, a little bit of psychedelic, a lot of damn goodness, and this one was like under $20. It was a steal. They had a few, so I was glad to pick one up. Like I said, didn't know it got a proper reissue. I mean, as far as I know, it's a proper reissue. Didn't see anything that would lead me to believe otherwise. Sounded great. Got that one, so picked that one up. And it just wouldn't have been a trip with Bill if I didn't grab some jazz. It's just how it is, right? He's a jazz fan. I'm a jazz fan. So while I was there, I had to pick up some jazz. So my selection was My Conception from Sonny Clark. This is the Tone Poet series. Let's get that crease break. Little, but we'll take it. Fantastically done. I mean, what can we say about the Tone Poet series? It hasn't been said already, other than if you don't have any, you should get some. This is audiophile quality under $40, and you would not be disappointed with any one of these. On this one, you've got Donald Byrd, Hank Mobley, Paul Chambers, Art Blakey. I mean, this is just a lineup that just does not stop giving. Highly recommend it. Fantastic music, fantastic playing, great session. So then we went to this other shop of his that he frequents, and this place was unique. They're called Joys and Toys. Let that one marinate a minute. Just let it sink in. Now I know what you people were thinking, you dirty-minded sons of bitches. And it's not that. This place was wall-to-wall merchandise of action figures, toys, books, randomness, records in the back. I mean, it was like walking through a time capsule, a very crowded time capsule of your childhood. If you played with it in some capacity as a kid, and it was a toy, chances are he had it. I didn't look for it, but I would not have been surprised if he had had one of those Evil Knievel wind-up ones with the bike that takes off. We all had them as a kid in the 70s. So that was an experience, and I highly recommend if you're in that area, go, because it was a lot of fun. And he had some records decently priced. Bill put this one in my hands and then instantly took it out and said he was going to buy it for me, which was completely uncalled for. He didn't have to. And I had actually been looking for this one for a while. And this is Carlos Santana and John McLaughlin, and this is Love, Devotion, Surrender. And my mom had this, what felt like on a perma loan for a long, long time from a friend. And she played it a few times, and I fell in love with it. I just loved the spiritual playing that these two did and how they fed off of each other oh so well. They do a wonderful cover of A Love Supreme. So this is clearly in that spiritual period that Carlos Santana was in. But then this was kind of like the beginnings of the Mahavishnu Orchestra. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. But this is just fantastic music. If you don't have this, I highly recommend checking it out because it is absolutely superbly done. I had picked up a couple things, Golden Earrings Cut. While this album may not necessarily be one of the best of the 80s, it is a lot of fun. It's a great listen to, but I mean, let's face it, the song Twilight Zone alone makes it. And I prefer the album version to the single. I feel the single version, even though I get it, they had to cut it for time, it just doesn't do the song justice. So I'd rather have the LP version. So I picked that one up, and great price. And they had some 7 inches, and that's another rabbit hole that I haven't gone down on in the channel yet. It's coming, so I apologize. But I really am a sucker for 45s, and they had the Police's Messes in a Bottle now. I have all their albums. I might do a discography ranking, but I mean, there's 5. And they're all good. So, I mean, it's like, what's there to talk about? But I'm going back and getting the singles that have B-side unavailable cuts because they had some that were on comps and things like that. And this one has the B-side Landlord. And that one was on a A&M sampler album called Propaganda. And it's very punkish. It's very much of their, feels like almost their Outlandish Day Amore period. And that one was done in, I can't find the date, 79. So yeah, that would fit into that early period. Excuse me. And then just the other day, Mr. Bill and his infinite generosity and beautiful soulness sent me a copy of this. This was much needed and a big hole in my Gentle Giant discography. And this is In a Glass House. This one was not released in the States, and I don't know why, because it's so good. Of the 10, I believe, albums that they released studio-wise, this one ranks very, very high for me. And I was very familiar with it, just had never seen a copy. He actually had an upgrade of this recently, and was kind enough to send me this one. So that's kind of my time. I've gone on a little bit longer than I probably intended, but that's okay. But I wanted to kind of share these with you because not only had I shared my RSD stuff, but I really wanted to share my time with Bill. Being as that we started around the same time, and he actually won, I think it was my first contest that I'd ever hosted. And since then, we have become really, really close. I mean, I'm close with a fair amount of people in the VC. And he is just one of those people that is just genuine as they come. But getting together with him was truly just one of the highlights of my career here on YouTube and in the VC and what have you, because it really felt like there was someone who got it. on all facets. And we don't necessarily listen to all the same music, but it really felt like here was someone I've known for 20 plus years. So Bill, I cannot wait till we can do this again. And hopefully we can include some more people and do like a huge trip weekend fun thing. I don't know. I know we've talked about all that before, but seeing Genesis with Bill that final time is one of those memories I will take with me forever. So, in fact, I do have a memento from the show outside of the hopefully couple clips I got through. I got the program. T-shirts were like $50. I was like, come on, guys. I get it, but it's a piece of cotton. So I picked up this, and this was put together from some of the rehearsals, and it just is a memento of not just seeing them live, which by the way, tight as they could be, Phil sounded great. Hearing some of those songs again live for the last time was definitely emotional, but I'm also there with Bill, and that made it infinitely more special. So if the censors and the powers that be will allow, I'm going to close it out with how we closed out that evening. So if it's blocked, I'm sorry. If it's not blocked, here's another clip of Genesis. Thanks for watching, everybody. I love you all. I'll be back real soon. I promise. Peace.
We got